Fine. So when you create your Playwright test, you have this testing tab wherein you can run your specific test. Okay, like this one is saying Firefox, and this one is WebKit. Okay, so this would be mentioned in your Playwright config.ts. So if I comment this out, let's save this portion. I'll go to testing tab. You will have this example spec file which will execute only in the Chrome browser. Okay, now if you say this spec file has two test cases, has title and get started link, right? So these files can be executed with the help of this play button, or you can say run button. And this is a debug sign. So if you want to debug that particular test, and then turn on continuously. So these three options are coming for each of the test cases. Okay, if you want to run all the test cases together or in parallel mode, parallel is by default, okay, in case of Playwright. So you can just click on this run test. So these two tests will be run parallel. These are some of the options which help you to like pick a locator from the browser having a website open. Okay, you want to record a new test. Okay, so the option I told you about in Selenium, you have the Selenium ID which records and playbacks the thing, right? But in Selenium ID, the code was generated in simple English language, whereas over here, whatever you record, that will be in the Playwright, like Playwright script only with the language you have mentioned or specified. You can change that language also, okay? If you want to make it TypeScript to PyTest or something, that you can do. So record new and recorded cursor. Recorded cursor means when you record, the script will start from the portion where the cursor is. Okay, that way. So say for example, you have already logged in, and from the dashboard page you want to record. Okay, so in that case you would be having some specific lines. Say for example, over here you already are on this particular page, Playwright Day. Now after this you want to record. So what you'll do, you'll keep the cursor at this position, click on recorded cursor. Okay, and your browser would be open. In that, whatever actions you perform, those lines will be started getting recorded over here. So I'll like give example and I will teach about this later on. So don't worry about this right now. Okay, and then record new has a option of Playwright inspector from where you can copy the code and paste it over here. Sorry, not over here in recording. It is because of the code gen. So if you write a command like npx playwright code gen, then it will generate the code. Okay, same thing will happen, but then over here your code will actually get started created over here itself only, like in the project with a new name, test2 or test1.spec file. Okay, but with code gen it will be in the inspector itself. So I'll explain that part later on, so don't worry about it. You have this show browser, show trace here. Show browser as in when you run this program, the browser will be shown or visible to you. If you click on this particular checkbox, trace viewer, and if you run, then you should get that particular execution in a timeline or frames format or trace viewer. Okay, that way. So that is these options are that way. Okay. We don't generally use these options for running things or project in corporate. Okay. Even I won't suggest you to record things, because in case of record, Playwright will be giving you locators uh, according to its own what do you say, selection, like get by role, get by label. That selection will be based on the playwright itself. Okay. But when you write your own code, you will be selecting what specific, like if you want to go for XPath only, if you want to go for CSS, that option or that decision making is upon you. But when you record playwright, the decision is on playwright. It may give you get by role, get by label, get by text, which you feel that okay, no, this won't be fast or this won't be the right way of inspecting it. Okay. And initially, I would suggest ki you can go ahead with your own way of writing, like finding the locators and then uh, writing that particular code. The way we are going to learn today. So, okay. So I won't suggest to go with this part, but then we can try this option. Okay. So this is the testing tab. Now what we'll do, we'll create a new file and I'll say test1 dot spec dot ts. Okay, test1 dot spec dot. So you can copy this portion, okay, from current program itself. So what it says, import test and expect, okay, from the playwright test module, okay, package. So copy this, paste it over here. So this test basically tells you that we are going to write a test case. That is what this test symbolizes. And expect is for assertions. Whatever
So,
assertion.
sir, sorry to interrupt. From where did we copy this import sentence, sir?
Already we have this example, example
Okay.
spec created, so I just copied it. Even if you write this, no, even if you try to write this, it will give you options also. So the moment you, now but from you have to change it. Okay? So instead of J test globals, you can say from playwright test. The moment you write this, it will give you this particular format also. I'll just give a tab as of now. But if you want to understand this simple thing,
Sir, in Java, like
mhm.
import was to import the libraries.
So you are actually importing this test and expect from playwright test. So if you see over here in node modules at the rate playwright test, somewhere we should have this test and expect also. You need to find out, basically it will come over here itself only. So you are, this is a playwright test package, okay, you are getting this test and expect from there. Okay, so this is expect this coming from this expect, okay. So that is what we're improving. So expect is used for assertion purpose and test is for your test case writing. So each test, there can be different tests also. So you have tests and again, say for example, test. This is coming from the previous example itself. So we have two tests. So the way you write in test engine, we have at the rate test, right? Annotation. Similar way you have test as well. So test is taking title. So whatever we want to write, whatever test description we want to write, that description can we can write over here. Then then we have the async keyword. and then this is a page. So this page is nothing but an instance of the page class. We also call it as a fixture. So fixture in case of Playwright, you have browser, context, and page. Again, we'll understand that later on. Right now, just understand or remember that page is this page is nothing but an instance of a page class. Similarly, we have browser, context, and page. Then we have this arrow function, okay. And inside curly braces, we will be having our code. Okay. So the very first thing is await page dot go to. So the very first thing is like browser will automatically open up. Okay. Then we have a page or tab in that particular browser. What URL we want to open? So that URL we have to type in over here. So say for example, I have this demo Blaze website. I'll copy this and paste it over. Paste it over. So this is a demo Blaze website which will get open up. Now again, it's giving me an suggestion that await expect page to have title demo Blaze. So I'm not having the title over here as demo Blaze, but it's stored. But that's fine. I'll skip that out. And what I'll do now, I want to inspect this, or I want to click on this login link. So the very
Sir,
first thing,
sorry to interrupt again.
hmm,
What is this async for, sir?
async, as I told you, in case of JavaScript or TypeScript, okay, all the functions are asynchronous. Okay, asynchronous means no action is dependent on the other one. Say for example, you're opening a browser, you're clicking on a link. They those all option what you say actions are independent of each other. They will act in parallel. But in case of Playwright, we want all the actions to happen in a sequence manner or sequence order. JavaScript is a asynchronous, and TypeScript is a wrapper of it. So we want to have those actions in a synchronous manner. So we use await. So await, what await does? Await will wait for this action to complete first. Okay, so if you can see, this go to will return a promise with a response. So once your page has been loaded, once your page has been displayed completely, then it will say, okay, promise is completed. So we will go to the next portion. So we have waited for that particular promise to complete. Okay, so that is what is async and await used for. I'll detail down this in detail when we discuss about promise. Okay, right now I just want to showcase that, okay, how you can just write a simple script and run it. Okay, there are many areas which have to be covered, but I'll keep it separately.
So, sir, basically the first test will test whether the page has title, and the second test will test whether it gets started link.
Yeah, so this you can change. Okay, this description you can change. So uh, I will say user logged in successfully. That is what we want to try. Okay. Second, maybe another test. Okay. That also you can try. Just remove this. Logged successfully. And this was demo base. Remove this one. It is actually this was So now I'll inspect this login link. So the same way we used to do in Selenium. So I'll right click on it. I will click on inspect and yeah. So this is the login link. Now you can see ID as login to. Okay. So in case of Selenium, we used to have by.id, by.name, right?
Yes, sir.
Option coming over here. But then over here, that option is not there. Okay. There are many other ways of uh, strategies to identify the locators. But right now, I'll just focus on XPath and CSS. So if ID is login to, how can you create XPath over here? If I want to create based on this login to, so what should be the how you are going to write the XPath? If you remember, like double slash, anchor tag in square brackets,
Um,
and the rate is for attribute. Attribute is ID
ID.
equals single quotes login to square brackets complete. See, it has identified one of them. So this is your XPath. This is your XPath created,
Yes, sir.
right? So this also you can use, or you can use CSS directly.
Sir, A is
CSS
for that A class, right?
anchor tag. A is for
Yeah,
anchor tag.
anchor tag. Yeah.
So anchor tag having attribute as ID and login to as the text. What you use for CSS ID, ID in CSS, how it is represented?
Using dot.
No, dot is for class. Right?
Sir, using hash.
So hash and then login to. So that is nothing but your CSS. Okay. So yeah, CSS for ID login to. If you have class navlink, let's see navlink is unique or not. So if you have navlink, you say dot and then navlink. But you can see there are 9 such elements which is having classes. So we cannot go with the CSS navlink. So instead we can go with hash and then login to, right?
Two.
So this is your XPath. Oh, sorry, CSS. And with the ideas login. The XPath you won't have to write double slash anchor tag and then in square brackets at the rate ID equals login. So I'll just copy this and I'll say over here not to write, I'll say rate page dot locator. Okay, I'm just going with a very simple one, page dot locator, and it has still identified based on our actions page dot locator login to. This is also because many people would have used this demoblaze.com website, and this specific line is coming from
Sir,
yeah.
but how is it correctly giving the suggestion for
That's what I'm
the
saying. That people
locator?
would have used this earlier.
Okay.
That is also used. Now, what I have to do, I have to click on login. have to pass username and password. So username, again login username, we can go with hash sign. So
Yes, sir.
I'll say, see if you use only locator, na, page dot locator, say for example if I'm not using dot click sign, in that case you can say three dots coming below await. So
Yes, sir.
what that indicate that await is not required. See, await has no effect on the typer. Why? Because locator is not returning a promise. Locator is returning just a locator. Okay, so you can store it into the locator. Say I will say const login button, some login button or login link, login link, something like that. So I'm storing this login link locator in this, and so I don't have to use the await sign, await keyword. Now, if I want to click on the login link, then I have to use await. Why?
So basically,
Because
sir, await is for continuing the like the testing process. Like it should be a continuous process.
see whichever method returns a promise, you have to use await. And await will wait for that promise to get completed. Once that promise is completed, then only next action will happen. So if you don't write await, okay, how you have to write in that case? If you don't write await, then your program will look like this dot, so dot, then okay, and in this I'll say what was that page dot something, okay, like this. And if I want to, so this is how you have to write. This is how you have to write. If you don't have to use await, so await is skipped out, but the next action will happen. So once this is completed, then only perform the other action. Then only perform this other action. So this is a difficult way to write, right? For each and every line, you have to use dot then. Again, you have to write dot then, okay, and then whatever action you want to do. Got it? So if you want to skip or you want to, if you don't want to write this particular way, then you have to write await. So await is for waiting. Await for that particular action to complete. I hope this is clear. Yes, guys, clear, understood this part?
Yes, sir.
हेलो।
Yeah.
हाँ सर, हम लोकेटर्स के अलग क्लासेस लेंगे आप अलग से, मतलब वो सारी जो
एक्सपाथ और सीएसएस की बात करो आप, आइडेंटिफाइंग एक्सपाथ और सीएसएस।
सॉरी सर।
सी इस एक्सपाथ और सीएसएस के लिए किसी यहाँ पे एक्सपाथ और सीएसएस ही काम आएगा। बाकी के लिए आपका लोकेटर जो है गेट बाय रोल, गेट बाय लेबल, वो सब मैं अलग पिक करूंगा।
ओके, मतलब सर
अभी
आप
फिलहाल हम लोग
एक बार डिटेलिंग कराओगे ना सर?
करा सकता हूँ मैं, बट अगर आप सेलेनियम अटेंड किया उसके सेशंस आप देख लो एक बार, रिकॉर्डेड सेशन, तो दैट वुड बी बेस्ट, अदरवाइज आई विल रिपीट इट। So await now page dot locator. So it's again giving me this option. So see, I have identified this username field which is having an ID. So ID आप hash sign से use कर सकते हो for ID in CSS. So hash and login username. Dot fill is to type. Okay. So fill this particular element with this particular text. Okay. Similarly, again it should give me suggestion. Yeah, login password and then login submit. So we can just verify login username password submit if they are the ID or not. Let's see, login password is there. And we don't have ID over here. We don't have this class dot btn dot btn panel. So in case of this, what we can do is we just copy this. Let's paste it over here, saying that dot btn dot btn panel. But again, there are three. Send message.
You'll have to use expert.
Yeah, probably I'll have to go with the. So we can go with login as a text. Okay. So I'll say double slash button in square brackets. I will say text method equals within single quotes login, right? Uh, so it is identified one of them. So this is my expert. So how to identify or how to create an expert? Double slash sign is for relative part. Button, we are specifying the tag name button. So we have the text over here. In between the starting tag and ending tag, we have login as a text. So we are saying text method equals single quotes login. And that entire portion in square brackets. So I'll copy this expert and paste it over here. Now why this is giving me error? Because over here you can see it is like single quotes, so you can replace the single quotes with double quotes. Okay, or if double quotes are over here, then you have to write single quotes. Now,
So it means, so basically you don't have to mention that you are finding XPath or CSS, or you are using CSS selector in TypeScript.
no. You just have to mention dot locator and then you can identify based on XPath or CSS and then just mention it. Over there it was like by.xpath, by.css, but over here it's not like that. Okay. So this is done. We can execute and let's see. It should give me some kind of error because this user password is random. It's not actual. So user logged in successfully. That is the description. So click on. Nothing will happen there. So one passed. One passed because all the steps got executed successfully. So if you have correct username and password, I'll say you paste this in. I created this when I was looking for it. So let's use that only. So now let's try and see if we are able to log in successfully. Okay. So everything happened over here. So let's debug and see what exactly is happening. So you can go to this particular testing tab, and in this, what you can do is you can go with the debug. So I'll Breakpoint over yes. Go with keyboard.
सर जैसे सेलेनियम में जब हम यूज करते हैं तो वो ऑटोमेटिकली लाइक नया पेज ओपन हो जाता है और क्रोम का पेज ओपन होता है, वैसे प्लेराइट में सर वो
पेज ओपन
ओपन।
हो ना, पेज यानी ब्राउजर, राइट? ब्राउजर और ओपन
यस
करो।
सर, हाँ ब्राउजर।
ब्राउजर ओपन हुआ ना नया, see this browser open like
ओके।
now it's awaiting over here. Okay. So up till this portion we have done, and it's also giving you see locator hash login username. So that is the locator. So we can just step over. So it executed. So Unicode one password should actually click on them. That is not happening. Let me just try it over here. If it is actually happening in test one. So we have used Unicode, right? Unicode test one is there. Okay. So for incorrect username and password, it's not like the site is not performing anything. That's the reason. So our username and password was wrong. Now it should work perfectly. Let me remove the yeah, we'll rerun. Now it should log in successfully. So open the new page, site, login, and then login successfully. And you should get log out button on link over here and then welcome message. So if you want to like check whether the user has been logged in successfully or not, then you can what you can do is you can right click, inspect, actually not over here, in this website. So you need to test one, copy this, paste it, right click on log out, inspect, and you should see ID as logout. तो ID है तो CSS में क्या हो जाएगा hash से. So copy this and in my code now I have to do an assertion. तो assertion में क्या आएगा आपका expect. Okay, expect okay, page dot locator okay, and what is that locator hash and for v this is visible. So this is going to give you the element logout link. Okay, now I want to say expect this particular link is visible or not. So you can see expect locator, actual locator. So let's try this. So you can rerun it from here. logout, it should be verified, and your test will show actually passed or failed. So to be visible, there's some timeout related issues. So what we can do, we can add a timeout over here. So I'll say await page dot wait for 2 seconds, at least 2 seconds, wait for 2 seconds. Let's see. Close this. Now it got passed successfully. So you can wait some or give some timeout over here and accordingly execute it.
Sir,
Friends,
what is this expect page dot locator to be visible?
expect is for assertion. Expect is for assertion. As I told you, over here test is for test case. Expect is for assertion. So once we perform the login actions, when we click on the login button, then we have to assert, right? We have to verify that actually user has logged in successfully or not. So then we will say, okay, how can we verify? So once a user is logged in, logout button should be there, logout button or link, or a welcome message. So either way, we can verify it. So this is for verification part. The way we had over here, in example, like if we open a particular site, then we have to like expect title is there or not. This change it. So expect is for assertion. यहाँ तक क्लियर है, यहाँ तक समझ आया आपको?
सर ये हैश लॉग आउट टू जो है वो लॉगिन पेज का
लॉग आउट का लिंक का लोकेटर है, एक्सपाथ सीएसएस है ये जो है।
सर एक बार वो पेज में बताओगे सर?
हाँ हाँ श्योर। ये पर्टिकुलर जो लॉग आउट है उसका लोकेटर जो है दैट इज दिस वन हैश।
ओके,
अगर आप करोगे, इंस्पेक्ट करोगे, सी आईडी इज लॉग आउट, तो आईडी के केस में हम हैश लगाते हैं, सीएसएस के केस में
यस सर।
लॉग आउट के लिंक। ये जो है ये आपको लॉग आउट लिंक का एलिमेंट प्रोवाइड करेगा, जो हम फाइंड एलिमेंट में लिखते थे ना, ड्राइवर डॉट फाइंड एलिमेंट बाय डॉट सी एस एस से लिखते हैं, बाय डॉट एक्सट्रा, वो पूरी लाइन आप समझो इस तरह से, पेज डॉट लोकेटर।
सर हम सिलेनियम में वेब ड्राइवर में लॉगिन करते, लॉगिन पेज में हम यूजर नेम पासवर्ड डाल देते थे और उसके बाद जो लॉगिन बटन है उसमें क्लिक करके फिर उसमें एक्सपेक्ट वाला जो सेंटेंस जो सिंटैक्स है वो हम ऐड नहीं करते थे। तो ये पर्टिकुलरली टाइपस्क्रिप्ट में क्यों ऐड कर रहे हैं?
नहीं, वहाँ पे हम एसर्ट करते थे, हम टेस्ट एनजी में अगर आपने नोटिस किया होगा तो हम एसर्ट करते थे, राइट?
हाँ सर।
तो एसर्ट इज एक्सपेक्ट हो गया वहाँ पे, एसर्शन, यहाँ पे भी एसर्शन ही है, एसर्शन ही बोलो। Expect यानी we are expecting, right? We are expecting this link to be visible. That's it.
Yes sir.
तो ये assertion ही है। वहाँ पे हम TestNG का फ्रेमवर्क यूज कर रहे थे, तो वहाँ पे हम assert यूज करते थे, assert something like okay, whatever the statement. But over here in Playwright, it's expect. You can use expect at any point of time and number of times. That is not a problem. But if that expect will fail, your test case will fail. I hope this is clear up to this point. ये बेसिक एक प्रोग्राम आप लोग ट्राई करना। फ्राइडे को हम लोग ऐसा होता है लोकेटर्स पहले समझ लेते हैं, एक्सपाथ, सीएसएस और जो बाकी के सारे ऑप्शंस हैं। आप एक काम कर सकते हो, आप अपने लेवल पे playwright.dev पे जाओ वेबसाइट पे, ठीक है, एंड यहाँ सर्च में सिर्फ लिखो लोकेटर्स, you will get all the options. These are different options available to locate the element in case of playwright.
तो ये completely नया है, like page dot get by
हाँ,
role text
सब कुछ नहीं है तो
label.
playwright itself is a different tool, right? So they have
Yes, sir.
designed it differently.
Other than this, sir, like by tag name,
नहीं वो
ID,
सब
CS.
नहीं, वो सब that way of writing style is different. Tag name, tag name, tag name नहीं है लेकिन text है, वहाँ पे text है, जैसे लिंक टेक्स्ट होता था वैसा है, लेकिन वो ऑल्ट टेक्स्ट भी है, ऑल्ट टैग होता है तो उसको तो टाइटल टेस्ट आईडी, यहाँ पे सब ऑप्शंस भी दे रखे हैं कि वो किस तरह से होगा, जैसे अगर ये टैग नेम है बटन साइन इन तो उसमें गेट बाय रोल बटन, फिर नेम साइन इन क्लिक, राइट, फिर अगर लोकेट बाय रोल है तो आपका इस तरह से HTML है तो ये HTML में आप कैसे करेंगे, गेट बाय रोल सब आपको ऑप्शन दे रखे हैं, फिर लोकेट बाय लेबल तो उसमें अगर HTML में लेबल करके टैग है तो आप सीधा गेट बाय लेबल पासवर्ड यूज़ कर सकते हैं, जस्ट गो थ्रू दिस बिफोर Friday session, तो दिस विल बी क्वाइट इजियर फॉर यू, जैसे प्लेस होल्डर एक एट्रीब्यूट है इन योर इनपुट टैग, तो आप डायरेक्टली गेट बाय प्लेस होल्डर कर सकते हो, जो भी आपका वैल्यू है वो पास कर सकते हो। सो अगर आपके प्ले राइट की डॉक्स फाइल रीड करोगे, इट्स वेरी सिंपल टू अंडरस्टैंड एंड इजी टू लर्न ऑल्सो फ्रॉम हियर, यू गेट लॉट ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन, बहुत अच्छे से बना रखी है लोगों ने, एंड एवरीथिंग दे हैव मेंशन, दे हैव वीडियोस आल्सो, so just try it out.